if we're recording,
I just hit record.
I didn't say
I'm
anything.
saying that we're gonna ban you. We're gonna dox you.
Do it. Do it, man. I dare you to do it. All right. Well, second podcast of 2021, and wow, the first podcast we did this year, that was very positive,
Very optimistic.
very optimistic.
Yeah.
And 6 days into the year,
Chaos.
we're back into chaos.
Yeah.
I'm sure
2020 didn't end, guys.
Nope. We're carrying the negative shit straight into
2021.
Yeah.
Season 2.
season
Season
2.
two, yep.
This is
Electric
season 2.
Boogaloo?
Yeah. This is
These are
the
really-
Black Mirror episode continued.
Yeah, I just pronounced 2021 like WWN, W-O-N, 2021, and then next year's is gonna be 2022 like T-O-O. That's what I think.
Oh no. So 3 would be flee, or like 2020 like flee the fucking country.
Maybe.
No, things will be good by then. We got to throw that out there. Throw it out there.
I'm with you.
Hopefully.
I'm with you.
No.
Yeah, let's hope that things are better.
Yeah, let's put positive shit out there. But obviously, we have very strong feelings. I'm sure you do too. What happened at Capitol Hill? Yeah, basically domestic terrorism. And
Plain and simple.
and both. It feels like everyone's to blame. Like the way this whole event happened, there was so much lack of accountability or responsibility on the people that worked there. Like we just saw a video of the door, literally them just opening the doors, allowing these protesters or rioters in. All right, just who wants to say what? You know, just get it off your guys' chests.
Shoot, I guess I'll start. I always think about. I remember, I think Tommy Loren had a post saying, when Trump wins, or if Trump loses, watch how
peaceful it would be.
Yeah, watch us just mind our business, go to work, and not worry about anything. And then Trump lost, and this happens. Invades the national capital, invades the Capitol building, killing people. Which I like to point out, these people are Black Lives Matter. I'm sorry, Blue Lives
Blue
Matter.
Lives Matter.
Blue. There's
There's a lot of
There's a lot of colors for these things.
But Blue Lives Matter, blue this, blue that.
Blue
and then-
Lives Matter until they don't support their.
So they're what they
Yeah.
call and then all of a sudden they're killing
Yeah.
blue lives. They killed a cop. So it's like, how is Blue Lives Matter cop killers? That that doesn't really make any sense. But I think it's pretty clear. Blue Lives Matter was never about blue lives. It was about anti-black lives.
Yeah, and just idealistic too. Like, just if you don't believe in what I believe.
Well, let's be careful, guys. We don't want to just paint everybody that says Blue Lives Matter into this light. You know,
No.
these are radical people.
Yeah.
Same with every organization, like Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, whatever, fucking Red Lives Matter. I don't know, whatever colors matter. But the point is, there's good and there's bad, and obviously, the people at the Capitol building were the radicals on this side. So just care. We don't want to box. We don't want to just box people.
Yeah,
Same thing.
Like before, like what? Like not all white people are racist, but all racists are white people.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't go that far because I do think there are
Yeah.
racist people from other races.
Oh yeah, of
for
course,
sure.
but like,
But that was a
like
quote.
the generalization. Well, like you said, Republicans or like you said something. Yeah.
Here's what I said.
Yeah, I'm
what-
butchering everything because I always butcher everything. But yeah,
What I said was
Suck it,
because Dane was talking about, everybody thinks Republicans are all racist. And I was like, look, not all Republicans are racist. But if you're racist,
yeah,
then you're
you're
probably
probably
yeah,
a
there's
Republican.
most like
Yeah. And that's how I see this. I'm not saying that it's everybody.
yeah,
but
yeah. We're not trying to make a generalization, but it's
Yeah.
like
But-
when we say this, we mean those people, the radical people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
it's hyperbole.
what-
It's impossible to be every single person.
Yeah.
Right, but what it definitely did prove is that on the Blue Lives Matter group there are radicals there,
Yeah.
and they're willing to commit,
Well,
acts
they don't
of
believe in the
violence.
actual like
foundation
of
right.
it. They just believe in like, oh, he disagreed with my ideals, so I'm gonna destroy this.
Right.
I actually disagree with that. Blue Lives Matter only came out when Black Lives Matter.
That is true.
And so
That is
that's
true.
what proves that it's
Yeah.
directly a deterrent to Black
That
Lives
is
Matter.
true, because it started out with All Lives Matter to protest against the Black Lives
Black Lives
Matter,
Matter,
and then when All Lives Matter got all the heat, they turned it to Blue Lives Matter because then they wanted to put like organization behind it, like the police, and they thought it would be respectful. But when you have the police killing black people constantly, it's kind of hard to say Blue Lives Matter when the blue lives are the ones killing the black lives.
And my thing is, if it really was just about police, then it shouldn't have been called Blue Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Because you literally made it as like a parody of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter had already existed, and you literally take the names and just switch one.
Yeah,
one
just switch the
word.
color. Yeah.
Yeah, that's deliberate.
Yeah.
You're deliberately negating the original.
So I do have a question though. So the Blue Lives Matter movement is a new recent thing for this year. But
It's-
I do remember seeing the thin blue line flag
Yeah. Yes.
many years in the past.
it was.
or maybe not many years, but I do remember seeing it more than a year ago.
Yeah, like 2016. Now, I'm not saying
Yeah.
Blue Lives Matter just started now. Blue Lives Matter started like 2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Black Lives Matter was first.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
after Black Lives Matter, then they adopted Blue
Yeah.
Lives Matter, and that was their symbol, was
Right.
the black flag with the blue line.
With the blue line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was, make no mistake, it was deliberately made after Blue Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Black Lives
Black
Matter.
Lives Matter, yeah.
To deliberately negate
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
Well,
That's what I
and-
have a problem with it.
To me, it seemed like more of a response to the way, like, you know, they're saying, like, defund the police and shit, and, you know, police officers.
F12 ACAB.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
ACAB.
Yeah, so it was a response to that. Like, it was people that wanted to show support to the police that are like, hey, you know, not all police officers are bad, or, you know, not all police officers are, you know, meaning to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
some are
they
here
could
to
have
serve
done that
and
without
protect.
protesting an actual protest.
That's my issue. Is that
Yeah.
there's other ways to do that, and the fact that they did it this way was deliberate. That
Yeah.
wasn't by chance. That wasn't coincidence. That like somebody was thinking, oh, Blue Lives Matter. Somebody thought Black Lives Matter, and then it happened to be the same.
At
No.
the same time.
Somebody saw Black Lives Matter. It's like, oh yeah, and that's my problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I'm like, when people say not all Blue Lives Matter is racist and hate black people, well, that's how it started.
Yeah.
It started as a deterrent toward Black Lives Matter. So from that standpoint, that's why it looks like they are against Black lives, because that's why it was created. Now, if they're just for police, different story. You know, people were for police long before
Oh, yeah.
Blue Lives Matter existed.
Yeah.
So those people I'm all for. But I think the way that it started, and then seeing people with Blue Lives Matter flags saying "fuck Blue Lives Matter," people saying Blue Lives Matter beating and killing cops, proves that this Blue Lives Matter was not
about cops.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It's about finding a radical way to protest against the protests.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's where
I see
my
your
complaint
point. I
is.
see.
So it's not even that people. It's not even anti-police, because honestly, I think the bad police are a vast minority, in my opinion.
Right.
It's just when they're put in the forefront through the media, it makes the whole all police
Yeah.
officers look
Exactly.
And can I, good segue, because I brought this point up to you guys before we started.
bad. You do.
One of the things I'm the most pissed off about this, and what I think made this event almost inevitable, and why our country is so divided, is because the fucking media. The
Yeah.
way the biased nature of the way they paint both sides, whatever side you're on, creates no room for a conversation. Creates like you're breeding a country of radicals. You're breeding a country of people that hate other sides without trying to understand and come to compromises peacefully and exercise our rights peacefully. You're creating an environment where you're dividing our country, and you're gonna create a civil war. I mean, we're seeing the forefront of a civil war, and it's because of the media.
Yeah, I do agree that the media, like, you can see what you want to believe. You know?
Yeah.
If you want to believe
Yeah.
that Antifa did this raid, you can watch Fox News and they'll tell you,
Yeah.
Antifa did this. You know, if you're on the
And-
left
and-
side,
yeah,
then
and
you
it's
want-
because they're biased and they want to tell a different narrative. Whatever the facts are, we honestly will never know the real facts of fucking anything because of the different shades and veils the media pulls over our eyes and the facts.
Right.
Well,
Honestly, you'd have to watch
yeah.
something unbiased.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I prefer BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing America through another world's view
Yeah.
is, in my
Yeah,
The
opinion,
world
best
news.
side, the
Yeah,
best.
world news is one of the best that I watch.
Yeah.
It just shows everything. It gives you way better like perspective, and then
Because
when
it's
they
not
look
in
at
it's not in the nitty gritty.
yeah, and then when they do look at like America's side, like you can really see from the outside, like oh shit.
Yeah, one of the journalists that I like to watch went there saw what went down and reported. He was like, dude, none of these people, there might be a few Antifa members. There was one that was arrested, and he.
Is this like the protests or what happened?
What happened
Justin?
just now at Capitol Hill?
Okay.
One of the people that was arrested was an Antifa member, but he was there as a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the journalists that I watched who's not this guy, was like, yeah, all of these people here were Trump supporters. They were the diehard, the radicals who were just fed up and angry and just wanted to cause chaos.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's the myth and the lie calling, oh, is Antifa doing it? Is not good.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, the media blew that up.
Yeah.
You know? So all it takes is one person to say, see, does this guy look like a Trump supporter? No, he's Antifa. Now, no evidence. You know, it's baseless claim.
Yeah, and now everybody
But
there
now
is.
Is an Antifa, and it just divides. It just divides, and it creates.
It's trying to make, we can never do something bad.
Right.
We're the good guys, you see.
Yeah.
And all it does, it just shows the hypocrisy on both sides.
Yeah.
And it makes someone like me, who likes to, stay more centered, just not even want to fucking talk about or care about politics ever again. Because it's like, I don't know what to think now. Because one side that I'm like starting to agree with, something will happen and the news and the media will tell a certain tale. And I'm like, well, shit, okay, well, maybe I go over here now. I don't fucking know.
Right.
Yeah.
Help me.
I'll tell you this. I was the opposite. I was like you before 2016. Long before that, I was just like, I'm kind of in the middle, but I don't know who to follow because they're saying this bullshit, they're saying this bullshit. I kind of like this person a little bit more, but I'm kind of leaning both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And then after how the media covered Trump, I was anything but him.
Yeah.
I that's when I became an extremist. I had the opposite reaction.
Yeah.
I wasn't like
Same.
Yeah, I wasn't like I saw all these things on the media and went, oh great, now there's more information. What do I do? It was more like it's pretty clear where the malevolence lies.
Yeah.
And I'm against.
There was no shading what he said or what he did as negative. He outwardly put it out there. He said the things that he said to incite hate, incite war, incite fighting, incite protests.
But see, that's another side of the media showing that, because then it doesn't show the other
No,
stuff.
that's literally on Twitter.
See-
You can literally go on his Twitter and see the things that he's saying.
Yeah,
See,
I'll
I do have a problem with. They silenced Trump, but there's still other people talking. There's a guy from, I think, Russia, who actually tracked down and killed members of the LGBTQ community, and he still has a platform. There's radicals saying death to Israel, and they still have.
Yeah, and there's porn on Twitter too.
Yeah,
So
so
there's
where do you draw the line as saying, so Trump incited violence, so we're going to silence him, but we have other people doing violence, let's keep them on there.
That's not the case though, because they already had all of this on. Twitter was already a free range thing, and they thought it wasn't going to be a problem. They thought all that stuff was in other countries and they didn't have to worry about it. And then when finally somebody from our country has been inciting hate and revolution and war, and let alone the leader of the free, our country,
Yeah.
then they're like, that's where we got to draw the line. And he's the first one. Just because they're still there doesn't mean they're not going to be next.
I mean,
You can't say that they're allowing it when they're just on the way of doing it. Because there's lawsuits that are in place for a lot of different things. It takes a lot of time to get anything passed.
Well, I get that though, but there's been Alex Jones is banned from Twitter, and then there's also other conservatives who have been banned before because of stuff they said, or other radicals said some stuff and they've been banned before.
Yeah, and that's because of media coverage blowing it up, and all of the people that are doing beheadings and shit like that aren't being blown up by media coverage.
But they're still there, and
They're still there, yes, but they're not being seen in the forefront. So Twitter's doing their thing, cutting out whatever they have to. But if it's not causing any problems for America, then they're not going to do anything about it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also because Twitter's a private organization.
if something bad happens to somebody else in another country,
they don't care.
who
They don't-
cares?
yeah.
Because they're a private organization.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't be world police.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we can police our own country.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they put the ban on Trump, because Trump is from here. And
Yeah.
they're like, I'm from here, I gotta do something. Where if it's something happened in some other place, it's like
They don't really have much say about it because that's someone else's idealistic war.
Jack or whoever owns Twitter could easily do it.
He could,
He just doesn't want it.
Yeah. And because it's not really affecting him personally. But
Yeah.
the things that are happening personally is with Trump, because everybody is making Twitter such a controversial site because Trump in the last 4 years has been turning it into a controversial site.
I give you this. If you're saying that it's wrong that he's not censoring those people, I actually agree. I
Yeah,
do think
no,
it's
yeah.
wrong.
I
But
think
think
it's
you
wrong,
should-
yeah. No, yeah.
and I agree too.
Yeah,
I
I agree too. But what I'm saying is, like, just
Because
because they haven't done it yet doesn't mean that they're not going to.
I don't think
it
they
just
ever
means
will.
they haven't gotten to it.
I'm with you on that.
I don't think they ever will.
Okay, yeah, but you can't just like flat out like say,
I mean, people
that it's like they're doing it purposely.
I mean, since
Well, they
the
are
beginning
doing
of
it
like,
No, it's
Oh.
they're using the terms of service to their advantage. Everybody's using their terms. That's why I said there's porn on Twitter. Everybody's using the terms of service to
I
their
mean,
advantage. He
yeah,
just
there's
did that. He
even
just made whatever
kitty
terms of
porn
service.
too.
Yeah, okay.
There's so much stuff,
Yeah,
and
there's so much
Jack
stuff on there,
hasn't
yeah.
done anything about it because he doesn't care.
Yeah, so it's like, why do you all of a sudden care now?
Yeah.
I do see what you're saying. I think it's only because it affected our country.
Yeah.
You know, this
And-
other stuff.
On a political level and on a fundamental level.
Yeah, I've heard about child pornography being successful in other countries. you
Yeah.
know. Now, granted, I do think he should shut it down.
Oh, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
he
Yeah,
should, but
Absolutely. He does.
Well, and
how old is Twitter? Because I mean, for the past 3-4 years, I've been on it. I mean, people have been complaining that there's still this issue, and you're silencing other people, but you're not silencing other
Yeah.
dictators
Yeah.
and other people.
Yeah, I do think it's wrong.
Well,
I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I agree.
But
yeah.
you've also got to think that there could be some things in place that are preventing him from doing
well,
that
that,
at the same time.
I was just
Money.
gonna say, well,
Could be money,
that-
yeah,
oh,
but they're not.
contractual.
Yeah, it could be contractual
that's
stuff.
what,
Yeah,
that's,
but it's,
that's what I was gonna say
yeah.
because like, so if you get like an ExpressVPN and you go on Netflix through like a British server, you get like different types of shows.
Right.
So that says that in different areas there's different contracts and maybe different representatives.
yeah.
And different rules.
Terms and services.
Terms and
So-
yeah. So
If you're listening, so if you're in China, you could promote violence, and you could, support the
Actually,
concentration
you
camps they
could
have.
barely go on the internet if you're in China.
I mean, if you're a leader or a
If you have access to it, then yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
Because
'cause I
then
mean-
you can,
Yeah.
because whatever. Twitter has that option that you basically do whatever you want. But if it violates the terms of service, which is a terms of service,
Oh yeah, I know about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, yeah, just because they're not doing it, like, cutting everything out, doesn't mean, like, things are violating the terms of service and they're not going to get to it. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I don't know.
Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's going to happen.
I get your
It's not going to
issues
happen.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get your
It's-
issues too, and I totally agree with it. I totally
Yeah.
like Twitter. I don't even go on Twitter. I
Yeah.
only have it because there's a couple people that I used to talk to, and then I just never deleted my Twitter after that.
Do you guys completely agree that Trump should have been silenced on
Oh
Twitter?
yeah.
I
Seriously.
think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm with you. If they should silence him, they should silence all the bad people.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with one at a time.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And if they started with
Just like
Trump,
one
I'm
day
fine
at
with
a
that
time.
because
I
that's
mean,
the immediate
hopefully-
problem.
Hopefully, they would take down other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
people,
what I'm.
but
hopefully,
I
yeah.
honestly don't
That's
think
what
they
we hope.
would.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know they would take down other conservatives and other radicals on the right, but they're not gonna. Anyone radical on the left, any other dictator, they would say, "Oh, here, it's fine. You could say that."
I think.
I mean, that's what it looks like. But
Yeah.
You can never know behind closed doors.
Yeah, and
Right.
and my answer to that is because I think about like social media, I think about like movies and art and things like that, and it's like, oh, all that's for the left, all that is for the left. I'm like, okay, well, people on the right make movies, make websites.
Yeah.
People on the right make Twitter. People on the right make your own.
there
Make your own shit.
was
Yeah.
Parler.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
Parler is like the conservative version of
yeah, but
Twitter.
then it turned into a racist like cesspool, basically.
I believe it. I've never heard of it.
And what happened
I
in
never
that
heard of
is, I think it's called AWS. The web server providers have taken it down. Apple and I think the Android store.
it's
are
because
taking
all
it
of
down.
because
Yeah,
all
they
of
don't
the
wanna
So I mean, like
that.
technically, if you make your own and it gets infiltrated by a radical group, it's gonna get taken down.
Right. Yeah.
well,
so,
a radical group that is promoting hate against somebody out of pure just hate and not actual facts. Like these people are on these things. Like you also all got to think like they're not just radicals; they're racists. They're the people that were saying that the Confederates were good people. That's the people
That's
that
not
are.
good. Yeah, that's-
exactly.
yeah,
that's
that's
what I'm
odd, yeah.
saying. So
You know,
like when
it's-
you're like, oh, they need to have their own thing. Like no, they just need to be deplatformed in general. Like racism should not exist in this day and age.
Of
It
course,
should not.
Of course. But, you know, what's interesting, I was talking about this with a buddy last night. like Leonard Skinner. They rock the Confederate flag, but that's not because they were promoting racism. It's just that was the land they grew up in, and there's certain, I don't know, morals, I guess, that
I doubt they're that dumb.
culture. Culture.
There's a lot of people out there that just saw that sign, didn't think of the racist part, just thought of it as it just means Southern. It just means South.
Right.
Which, in a sense,
Southern
it did
culture.
because
Do
it did
your
represent.
history if you think it's just the South, because
I'm with you
Yeah.
on that. Unfortunately, they were raised to think that way, and a lot of them are uneducated,
Yeah.
so they didn't know any better.
They didn't have the internet.
But in my
They had
opinion,
airplanes.
that's no excuse.
Exactly, especially this
That
day and
didn't
age. There's no excuse.
Yeah, I also think about because Leonard Skinner, that was a long time ago, so they're not as woke as people are now.
Well, that's what I mean. Like they didn't nearly have the vast amounts of information, at their spiel. You know, they just grew up in the good old swamplands,
And let's face it, the Confederate logo was on the Mississippi flag. The Mississippi state flag had the Confederate. They changed that for the first time this year.
Yeah.
For the first time. Not this year because we're in 2021.
Right, but
Last
year,
year,
yeah.
Yeah, they
It's an
changed
adjustment.
it. Yeah.
Right.
And
I
with
mean,
shit
last year was
going on-
literally only a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It still
really.
feels like last year.
And
It's
it's
Capitol.
acting like last year.
It's acting like
It's still last year.
It's
Yeah, it's still last year.
Like I said, 2020 has an end, people.
Yeah. So no, I don't think Skinner was racist. I think they were that was
uneducated.
Uneducated.
ignorant,
Ignorant.
but not ignorant in the sense of stupid. Ignorant as in they just didn't know. Better.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I
what-
would describe.
That's
it.
the core foundation of ignorance, just not knowing. It
Just
doesn't
not
mean like if someone says you're ignorant, it doesn't mean like they're calling you stupid.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can just be a wake up call, like, you know what, maybe I should educate myself.
Yeah.
Ignorant is actually, I like that word.
Yeah.
Or it's a nice way of calling someone stupid.
Or it's
Yeah, it is a nice
it's
way of calling
It's an
someone
educated
stupid,
way of calling someone
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Like, do you guys want to keep talking about this? I mean, we can keep going down the road.
Yeah, I said everything I wanted
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
I just wanted to shit on the media. Both sides of it. Both sides of it.
Yeah, Medium did give all of that stuff a platform. I
Well,
think
yeah.
Twitter did give Trump this giant platform to do all that stuff. It gives everybody the platform to do all this stuff. So
I mean, the fact the president makes tweets like and like talk shit,
Yeah.
like
At
No
least-
president,
okay,
no
well,
president
at
has
least
ever done that.
At least he hasn't
Obama did a
used
couple
the
tweets.
broadcasting
Yeah.
system.
yeah, like
Giving out
wait,
information saying I'm doing a speech here and I'm going to a benefit here and
Yeah.
I'm doing a dinner here.
Yeah, which I thought was cool.
Let
This-
them eat cake and not do radical shit and not, if I lose then everybody riots. Like, don't say that shit on Twitter.
Well,
you say, hey, I'm going to this benefit. Hey, I'm donating this amount of money to this charity.
Yeah, not
Like,
storm the Capitol.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
storm the Capitol. Like, you don't say that shit. You don't say grab her by the pussy on fucking Twitter. You don't say that shit. Like,
So at least he hasn't used the broadcast system yet.
Yeah.
Because we remember before he was tweeting out to all of our phones with the broadcast system.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
I'm
he
glad
hasn't
he
done
stopped
that
it
yet,
now,
and I guess that's good.
yeah. Well, he might now.
well,
Yeah.
no, not
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
I think they're pretty much trying to lock him out of
Yeah.
everything right now.
Yeah.
Like they're really trying to get him behind bars, if anything.
Yeah.
he is starting to see that he has like too much power. The
Yeah.
fact that he can be the president and convince his own people to attack basically Washington D.C.
Yeah.
That's scary. It's like he's forming a coup within his own.
Oh yeah.
Now with what happened, I do think this is gonna hurt protests later
In the
on.
future, yeah,
Oh,
I agree.
yeah. I agree.
They're gonna beef up security. They're gonna beef up. I mean, this.
Yeah, because they're gonna
we didn't-
expect this.
Yeah, even if this march down the street, they're gonna have more.
Yeah.
Well, even the
Security.
way like the Black
And-
Lives
and-
Matters protest went too. It's just like we're putting in.
Oh, take all that, take all those officers and double it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
also cut down more curfews
Yeah.
for protests.
And like I forget which episode
Yeah.
it was, but when we were talking about, well, actually I don't even think we were filming. I think we were just talking about it, how like you can't just like show up and protest. Like you have to go through the city.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
go through the
and
city
get
and like
forms.
get a permit to protest.
Which
yeah.
that was
dumb.
actually
Which is dumb, but it's actually smart
It's
because
smart.
you have to let your government know that you're mad that they're doing something.
And it creates.
how do you
Yeah, but
tell
can't,
them?
Can't he just turn it down?
They can
well,
turn it down,
if
but
they
then
did, then
you
that
show
was,
up. Then
yeah.
you just show up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because obviously
Yeah.
the city, the ultimate thing, like
'Cause
you know,
it is
law
our
enforcement,
rights.
Yeah.
the city wants to do is make sure that our rights are being exercised, and also it's being exercised in a safe way,
Yeah.
to where people won't get hurt, officers won't
Yeah.
get hurt. So I like the fact that you have to get forms and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it keeps order,
Yeah.
keeps it from not being.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
emphasizes on nonviolence. In
Yes.
my opinion. if you get
The
that
peace
over.
of the protest.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
if you just show up without going to the police for okay, there's going to be some opportunists there. You know, that's
Yeah.
what we see with the Black Lives Matter.
there's opportunities
Exactly.
even if you have it organized.
Right.
Even if you play by the
That's
book,
true.
people. Some people do love chaos,
Yeah.
and they're going to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Some men.
anything.
But
just
that
want to
just
see the
depends
world
on if
burn.
you generalize the whole protest based off of those individual people who take advantage, or if you just focus on those individuals and say the protest wasn't that, just these individuals were the assholes ruining for everybody.
Yeah,
Which
that's
and
was
even
the case.
peaceful protesters were saying that. They're like, "Oh no, we are not supporting."
Yeah.
Did you guys see the protests in Long Beach?
Yeah.
Literally, the protests in Long Beach.
I had a
they're
couple
walking.
friends that went there. Tetsu, Tetsu and
Oh,
Shmei,
yeah.
they went
Oh,
to the
that's
one in
right.
Long Beach,
That's right.
yeah.
And Max.
Yeah, Max, they
Max
all
was
went
there.
and they hand out waters and shit, and
Yeah, it was beautiful.
super peaceful. Everybody was sitting on steps. Nobody was marching really. Everybody was just sitting there with signs.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Like, yeah, this is peaceful.
Yeah, there was one
This is what it
section where
looks
they
like.
marched through Ocean Boulevard,
Mhm.
and while that was going on, the Pike was being looted. So like there was a protest over here on Broadway, and the protest coming down Ocean Boulevard,
Mhm.
and then looting going on at the Pike. So
Yeah,
you
where the
could- you-
protest wasn't even.
Yeah, so you
Which-
could clearly see
That's
that
good.
there is a difference between the protesters and the looters.
Looters
Yeah.
and the rioters.
And the rioters, those are all different people.
Problem
and to group
children.
them all together was messed up.
Yeah.
But more importantly, when that Ocean Boulevard reached the Pike, those protesters dispersed the rioters. The police didn't. The police were there.
Yeah,
The
no,
peaceful
no,
protesters.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, get the fuck out of
Get
here!
outta
What are
here!
you doing?
Shoot!
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the chant turned into no looting, no
Yeah.
looting, no looting from the protesters.
See, that's our American people.
Thank
right
you.
there.
That's us.
That's who we need. And even then, the media didn't show a lot of that. You
They
know,
didn't, no.
it showed a lot of
They would show the looting and the burning,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't
not
show
the
people.
beautiful.
They wouldn't
peaceful-
show the people coming in and pretty much protecting their own city.
Yeah.
I saw the live
Yeah.
coverage of it on the news. The helicopter stayed above the Pike, and that was it. The Ocean Boulevard
Oh, yeah.
was being
I
ignored,
almost saw my-
and Broadway
Yeah,
was ignored.
that's
I
why I
had to
never-
see that on Facebook.
Yeah, no, seriously.
On Facebook. So
Yeah.
that's where the media is fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
why
it's
when it
painting
comes to
both
stuff like that,
sides.
yeah,
Yeah.
when it comes to stuff like that, that's why I look on the deep on the internet for like live streams of people that are actually there.
That's what
Like the Facebook live streams, the Instagram live streams. I look through all of those. I pop them up on different tabs, and I watch like the front lines. And when like especially like when shit was going down in those protests, like with all the tear gas and everybody was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I pull up those videos. I'm like, yeah, well, this person literally got shot in the face with rubber bullets and tear gas. And I'm showing the video right here. The person, first person with their phone, tear gas coming out, hitting the phone. Oh, fuck.
That's
and
CGI.
then yeah,
yeah, exactly. Antifa shot themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it's there's so many people who look at just the Pike and say that's Black Lives Matter. Those guys aren't Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter at all.
No.
They weren't even from Long Beach.
No.
They
Those-
drove out from like Santa Ana and areas
Yeah.
just
Some out
to
of
loot.
state.
In,
Yeah.
in my opinion, those guys are just as much as domestic terrorists as the people that stormed Capitol building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're destroying property. You're scaring the people.
Yeah.
You're killing people.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. And I'm pretty sure none of them had a permit.
No, those guys didn't.
Yeah,
You don't
no,
get a permit for destroying businesses. That's what you do if you don't want to.
No, like for the Capitol Hill thing. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
no.
none of them had a
Probably
permit.
not. Well, they were at a rally.
Yeah, they were at a rally.
Yeah, but
or
I'm pretty sure they didn't
speech.
get the.
Probably not. They probably didn't have a
Yeah,
permit.
yeah, they didn't have the permits. They probably went to the rally and said, "Hey, let's just do it right now.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck it, yeah, let's do it," and they just went.
Hey guys, can we come in, officers?
Sure, why not? Yeah, why not? Yeah.
You guys seem like you're gonna cause trouble, which is for some reason what we want. Probably because you made the point. The
Yeah.
cops are probably like the ones who
Yeah, they were.
agree with it.
Yeah, they agree with
So-
it. They're the type of people like just because it's not the entire force doesn't mean there's not like
Is that Anakin?
one or two.
That's my dog,
Sorry.
guys.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Andy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my
but,
dog.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that not like one or two or three or even the however many were at the door opening the door didn't agree with what the rioters were doing, what the terrorists were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do agree with you. I do think those guys are just as much as terrorists. If anything, I hate them more because they're the ones who make Black Lives Matter
Yeah,
exactly.
look like
Yeah.
rioters when really they're peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I do think the Capitol Hill is worse because evading the Pike that does affect our community. That
Yeah.
does affect the business owners who run all that stuff, and that's awful. And those buildings were very special to them. Capitol building that affects the world.
Yeah.
The
Well,
whole
yeah,
world's on.
especially the way it makes
Yeah.
like America look
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Unhinged.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
unhinged.
Yeah.
We look weak right now.
watching BBC, they showed a title from India, a headline from India, and it said Ku Klux Klan, but Ku was spelled C-O-U-P,
Yeah.
and then Klux Klan, and then it showed the Capitol Hill rating. I'm like, that's how
That
the world
makes sense,
sees us. That's why I think it's worse, because the world doesn't really know about the Long Beach, the Pikeman
No.
rating. The world doesn't know about that. But the whole world was sitting there watching this like,
The Capitol Hill going like,
Yeah.
damn, you guys.
Yeah,
dumb
you
as
guys
fuck.
are
Yeah.
dumpster fire.
that's why I think it's worse.
Yeah.
I agree with you in that. Like obviously, I think the riots, like the damage that was done physically, was obviously a lot more in the amount of people that died.
Yeah.
A lot more, like, just bigger.
About
Yeah, it
I
was.
mean,
Yeah, it was
like,
bigger.
with the riots from the beginning of last year. I think it came out to about $1 billion
In damage.
in damages since the riots at the beginning of last year, and I think about 20 people died.
It was somewhere in the 30s.
Okay, the last thing
I
I
heard
saw
30
was
something.
around in the 20s.
Wait
Okay.
for just the Black Lives Matter.
Just over the course.
over the entire course.
I
yeah.
saw it as 24.
24.
That's what I saw.
20 was mine with that's including the 3 or including the 2 that Kyle shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
including them, including the.
This-
Oh no, that was
Some people don't say, "Oh, don't include them." It's like, well,
It was
They
a part
did
of
it,
that.
yeah.
they're a part of it.
They
So
were in that.
Yeah,
They're in that window.
Do you agree with it or don't agree with it? I'm not gonna get into that. 2 people died, so they're
During a
they're-
riot.
they're-
During just violence.
Yeah, and
But-
I looked into it too. Is it because they broke? I saw an article that broke down every piece. Some of those are misleading too, because some of those were like incidental. You know, like
Yeah.
like they got killed in a robbery while the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You know,
But
some
I
things
mean,
like that.
Kind of like a COVID death
Yeah.
can be counted if they like died of a heart attack but had COVID.
or
Right.
Yeah.
hit by a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit by a car.
Well,
He had
Yeah.
COVID, so
Yeah.
we had to mark it down as a COVID death.
Yeah.
Which helps the hospitals out because they're making bank.
Well, I mean, they kind